Hi everyone, Hungerford II Production Diary Day 3. I thought it would be interesting maybe for you guys to hear about the meeting we had yesterday, which was about the camera and where the camera is, because we're shooting this movie fan footage, as we did the first movie, and a lot of people use fan footage as a way of shooting low budget movies, and we are doing that too for that reason, but we're also doing it because we think it places the viewer right in the heart of the action and also gives the film a really solid and interesting emotional point of view. But, you know, there are both pros and cons to doing it. So, you know, first of all, I would say the pros of shooting fan footage are that it gives you a lot more flexibility and latitude with the camera itself. So you are able to frame more loosely, you're able to follow the action, which is really, really useful in a world where some of the scenes might be partly improvised, and also where when you're on a retake, you know, you aren't necessarily having to exactly remount the film, remount the take in terms of people hitting their marks and all the rest of it. So it allows for a much more fluid style, a much more sort of forgiving style, but it also allows you to really, you know, let the actors and the performance drive the takes and for the camera to be sort of serving that. Whereas obviously on a more classically shot film, you know, certainly by the time you're on the floor, the actors are very much the servants, well, the servant, but they are having to basically do what the camera needs them to do, rather than the camera doing what the actors need them to do. So that is really great. So it's great for flexibility, it's great for, you know, sort of forgiving style, and it's great for sort of performance-led, and it gives the film a really great emotional point of view, and they are all huge pluses for us and anyone shooting fan footage. One of the things that people really liked about Hungerford I, which I'm sure you're all going to download from iTunes at a very reasonable price, because it is fantastic. One of the things the critics, who were very, very into Hungerford I, said was that we didn't do what most people do with fan footage, which is cut away from the big expensive moments. And obviously one of the reasons why people do use fan footage is that they can cut away from those moments, you know, without the audience, you know, thinking, hold on a second, that's a bit of a cheat. The joy for us of working with a director like Drew, who is able to do all his own special effects and, you know, deliver a really high level of, you know, those extraordinary moments on screen, is that we don't have to cut away from those big moments. We hold on them. I mean, not forever, but we see them and we hold on them. And that, I think, really surprises everyone. There's a moment about 5 minutes into the first film where anyone who wasn't sold on that up until that point is sold on it from that point forward, because they go, oh my god, they showed us that. Oh, and the other thing to say about what's good about fan footage is that you can shoot it in available light without the audience going, that's a bit rubbish. And obviously you need to make good choices about what that light is to try and make it look as pretty and as atmospheric as you can, but you can shoot it in available light without anyone thinking, you know, subconsciously that this doesn't feel right or this feels cheap. There are some real costs to fan footage films, and, you know, one of those costs is, you know, not being able to have close-ups, you know, and certainly, you know, in most films, the use of the close-up is one of the things that is the director's greatest and most powerful tool in terms of making moments count, in terms of understanding how people feel about things when they're not necessarily speaking, etc., etc. So we have to find other smart ways, and a lot of the conversation yesterday was about, okay, how do we replace our ability to deliver on things like close-ups, and on that visual grammar of a classically shot film? How do we replace those things that you'd be doing in a classically shot film in a fan footage film, to mean that we sort of minimise the cost of doing it that way? I would say another real cost of doing a fan footage movie is that you can't score it, and that is a really big deal particularly in a horror movie or a sci-fi movie, where the music plays such a big part in atmosphere and tension and drama and all of the things that, you know, obviously it's there to do. So we have to work very, very hard in post-production, and we have a fantastic mixer in the form of a man called Andy Devine, who is you know, who is able to provide a score for us in the form of the sound that surrounds the action. And certainly in the first film we had, you know, a moment, for example, in the kitchen where we used the throb of a washing machine to provide the menace that we would normally be providing with a score. So always looking for the creative solutions, always looking for the creative options. And sorry, a software update came up there, so I just had to poke the screen. So we're always looking for ways of minimising the costs and maximising the benefit of doing it. And yesterday, I felt like we really won, and we got good reasons, good motivations, and hopefully you'll think so too when you see it. So today, definitely a bit of a boring day from the point of view of this video diary. So I won't make something about today, but tomorrow we're having our last read through with the cast, and I will make sure to do something about that, and I'll see if I have time, and if I feel brave enough, I will make sure you meet them all too. Okay, thanks a lot for watching, if you did, becoming my catchphrase, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, take care now. Bye, everyone.